He had the judge's sympathy, until his excuses went too far. It was a cold, gray morning in Providence. The courtroom lights hummed softly as a small crowd shuffled in, their voices blending into a quiet murmur. The clock struck 8:45 a.m. The first case of the day was about to begin. Judge Frank Caprio leaned back in his chair, his face calm but weary. He'd seen it. All people at their worst, people at their lowest, and sometimes people at their breaking point. The bailiff called the next name. Case of Mr. Darren Lewis. Parking violations, multiple unpaid tickets. A man in his late 30s stepped forward. His clothes were wrinkled, eyes red from sleepless nights. He clutched a worn cap in his hands. You could see the struggle written on his face. Life had not been kind. "Good morning, Mr. Lewis." "Morning, Your Honor. You have several tickets here, mostly for expired meters. It adds up to about $285. What happened?" The courtroom grew quiet. Darren hesitated, glancing at the floor. I've been going through a lot. Lost my job 3 months ago. I'm trying to get back on my feet." "I'm sorry to hear that. What kind of work did you do?" "Construction, but I hurt my back. Can't lift like I used to." "That's tough. Pain like that doesn't just slow you down, it affects everything. Your job, your home, your peace of mind." Yeah, it's been bad. I've been living in my car for a bit, trying to figure things out." "Living in your car?" "Yeah, just me and my dog. He's the only thing I got left." Caprio's eyes softened. He'd seen stories like this, honest men beaten down by circumstances. "All right, let's take this one step at a time. You say you're trying to get back on your feet. Are you working now?" "Doing odd jobs here and there. Nothing steady. People don't want to hire someone with a bad back." "I understand. These tickets, were you aware of them, or did they just pile up on you?" "They just kept coming. I didn't have the money, man. You know how it is. You pay rent or you pay a ticket. Rent wins every time." "I think we all understand that logic, Mr. Lewis. Sometimes you have to make choices no one should have to make." Darren sighed loudly, shifting his tone. "But honestly, Your Honor, it ain't even my fault. The city's got it out for me. They ticket me every chance they get. Same meter every time, like they waitin' for me." Caprio's eyebrows lifted slightly. The warmth in his tone began to cool. "You believe the city has a personal vendetta against you?" "Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Every time I park there, boom, ticket. Meanwhile, I see other cars sitting all day, nothing. It's rigged." "Do you have any evidence of this? Any photos, documentation?" "Nah, I don't need proof. I know what I see." "All right, let's focus on what we do know. The tickets are in your name. The car is registered to you, correct?" "Yeah, but that don't mean I was the one driven every time." "So you're saying someone else parked your car illegally, multiple times?" "Could be. I let my cousin use it sometimes. Maybe it was him." "You said you've been living in that car. How often does your cousin borrow your home, Mr. Lewis?" The room went silent. Darren looked down. "I means not lately." "So the recent tickets, those were you?" "Look, I'm not saying I didn't park there, but I had no choice. I had an appointment, I was late. I can't walk long distances with my back like this. They should understand that." "I do understand pain, Mr. Lewis, but pain doesn't excuse breaking the law." "Yeah, well, maybe if this city cared about people instead of talking their money, we would be in this mess." A murmur rippled through the gallery. Caprio raised a hand for silence, his voice still calm. Now carried weight. "Mr. Lewis, you came in here today asking for understanding. You told me about your struggles and I was ready to help. But now you're blaming everyone but yourself." "I'm just telling it how it is, Judge. It's not fair." "You're right, it's not fair. Life isn't. but fairness starts with honesty. Caprio leaned forward. The warmth was gone now, only clarity remained. You say you're struggling, that you've lost everything. That moves me deeply. But what doesn't move me is when someone refuses to take responsibility for their own actions. So what, you gonna make me pay money I don't got? I was going to dismiss these fines, every single one of them, because I believed you deserved a break. Darren's eyes flickered with surprise. But mercy is not a right, it's something you earn through humility, and humility, I'm not seeing that right now. You could almost feel the air grow heavy. The defendant's bravado began to crack. I didn't mean, look, I'm just frustrated. Everything been falling apart. I understand frustration, but frustration doesn't give you permission to be disrespectful. It doesn't erase responsibility. There was silence. The tension hung thick. Here, what I'm going to do. I'll reduce your fine to $100. It's manageable and it keeps you accountable. You pay it and this chapter ends. Darren stared at the floor. For a moment it looked like he might argue again, but something in the judge's eyes stopped him. All right, thank you. Mr. Lewis, listen to me. You're not a bad man, you're a man who's hurting, but the way out of pain isn't through anger or blame, it's through ownership. Once you start taking responsibility, doors begin to open. Darren nodded weakly, his defiance replaced by quiet shame. I want you to get back on your feet, but the first step always is honesty with others and with yourself. Fine reduced to $100, case closed. The gavel came down. Darren stood there for a moment, eyes glossy, lips trembling. He whispered a soft thank you and walked out. The courtroom stayed silent long after he left. Caprio leaned back, deep in thought. You know, I try to help people because I know how easy it is to fall, but sometimes what people really need isn't sympathy, it's a mirror to see who they're becoming. He paused, his eyes distant, voice soft but firm. Mercy has meaning only when it meets humility. Without that, it's just wasted grace. The camera slowly zoomed in on his face, wise, weary, compassionate, yet resolute. He came in broken, and the judge was ready to lift him up, but when pride spoke louder than gratitude, mercy stepped back. Sometimes what saves us isn't kindness, it's accountability. The piano plays softly as the judge rises and walks away. Judge Caprio reminds us, everyone deserves compassion, but no one is entitled to it. Respect it when it's given, or risk losing it forever. Fade to black. Subscribe for more Judge stories, real moments, real lessons, real humanity.